minutes?
No, it was 2 hours and 40 something? 48 minutes maybe?
2 hours and 30 minutes, we'll say, for right now.
I think it was 2 hours and 48 minutes.
Well, whatever it was, a big complaint from a lot of people is that they thought it was too long. Now, you and I were super fans of Star Wars. We're okay seeing a 3-hour Star Wars film.
Well, you also have to
play... And I think a lot of other people would be too, considering this is the final film in the Skywalker saga. However, I think going anywhere past that 3-hour mark, I think credits would be the 10 minutes.
Well,
but
now
anywhere past that 3-hour mark would just...
Well, here's the other thing: is you also...
people are okay with Endgame being.
That's what I was about to say.
But again, that's because this was a culmination of 11 years of films, whereas this is a culmination of about
40 some odd years
with multiple generations going through. So you have to satisfy them all. So I think going anywhere beyond that 3-hour time limit would be dangerous.
Yes, it would be. Now, here's my opinion. Would I be willing to see longer? Of course, because it's Star Wars. It's the greatest film stuff ever. But I would push it just a little past what you said. I would say 3 hours and 15 minutes. And that's where I think, and I'm talking the film part of it. The credits is more. But I'm saying the reason I say that is because it is what it is.
Don't get your big gulps for this film. You're going to be peeing your pants.
Well...
Yeah. Hurry up, credits, hurry up!
No, that's... At that point, they need to offer an intermission.
No, that puts sorry, we didn't have the budget for intermissions, but we have catheters.
No.
They look like lightsabers.
We need to edit that out. Oh dear Lord!
But now let me. Can I tell you what my worry?
But with that said, instead of catheters, maybe some porta potties in the back, maybe.
Some Star Wars depends.
Okay, let's just stop while we're ahead.
Okay, now let me tell you my worry about the film. Shockingly enough, I'm not too worried about most of the film. I think they're going to deliver a very satisfying experience. But I am worried about one thing, and that is in regards to Palpatine. Because regardless of whether it was planned in the beginning of the trilogy to have him come back in the end, I think there needed to be a little bit more. I think it would have done them very well to kind of build up this return very subtly in the previous two films. No, I just gotta, because I think it's gonna take some very, very, very clever writing to make this a believable story while still feeling like something new in having Palpatine's return. And I think that, they could always have a line that Palpatine, Snoke, or the First Order merely figureheads in my place until my triumphant return, or something like that. But I think this is something they've got to absolutely nail. They have got to get this 100% right. It can't feel like just bringing in Palpatine for a few minutes and then, whoop, sorry, bye, Palpy. Like, I have returned, I've been defeated. You can't do that. Yeah. You can't do that. That would, you've got to, because whether or not it was planned or not, you've got to make it feel like this was the plan all along. You've got to make the audience feel like this has been leading up for 2-3 trilogies. This has got to be top priority. You have got to get it down.
And I think it will be, and I say that because what we also know is, if you all didn't know this, J.J. Abrams has said he is a huge Star Wars fan, and knows about the
bigger Star Wars fan than Star Trek fan. That's why I was on board when he was directing Force Awakens. I'm like, did you see what he did to Star Trek? I'm like, yeah, but he wasn't as big a fan of Star Trek. He loves Star Wars.
And he did an amazing job at doing the Star Trek movies.
amazing's a strong word, but I do enjoy them. I think they're fun movies. But I think he did fantastic with The Force Awakens, and visually, if nothing else. It looks incredible.
And so
it's a fun movie. It's, he knows how to direct Star Wars.
And so we know that he's a huge fan, and not just that, but he knows lack of a better say, the lure, the all that is involved in Star Wars and its history and da-da-da-da-da-da, and things he can also bring in from the expanded universe, from other Star Wars sources that are canon and things like that. And I think that with this said, to be completely honest with you, think he will and he can and it will be nailed. And I think, one of the greatest things about it is no matter where they go with this. Now, one thing that I know both me and you cringe at, and we both don't want, but I could see him doing well and making an exception of it. No. Something you probably hate even more than that.
What?
The idea of Palpatine actually being back in the flesh. Now, yes,
it's not that I hate that idea. It's just I don't see any way in which they could do that it would feel natural and warranted.
Right.
That's like
because
that's like finding a needle in a million haystacks right now.
Well, that's part of it, but also
that's like navigating the Kessel Run with your eyes closed and your hands tied to your Johnson. I don't know.
But part of it is we hate the idea that kind of, in a way, ruins Vader's sacrifice.
Exactly.
But here's a way I can see.
If Anakin has some way in Palpatine's ultimate defeat.
Exactly.
That's the only way you can do that. If you're going to bring him back in the physical form, you need to bring back Hayden, get him in the sparkly blue robes, and tell him, get out there, boy, and defeat this Dark Lord again, or help Rey and Kylo defeat this.
And so what I'm thinking is that's kind of where, if, as we have possibly heard, Anakin is going to, that you have these, Force ghosts in here, is if he has a part to play in training Rey to defeat Palpatine. And so, and that's the subtlest part, but I still think it does justice. Now, I think, again, the only way I'd be willing for Palpatine to be back in the flesh is if there was a plan, kind of not just all along to bring him back, but also that he had some kind of hand in all
the events,
all that has happened since his supposed death, or his actual death, and somehow he came back after Return of the Jedi. And part of me thinks, because he is as strong as he is, and we know, it wouldn't baffle me too much because of how strong he is, and he would be the first, person or Darksider to find their way back from death.
Yeah.
And so, there actually has been written before a different way in which Palpatine came back.
Transfer.
Well, in essence, transfer, but not necessarily by clones. It was kind of possession, and then somehow figured out how to manifest himself back into life. But
we'll see where it goes. But all I can say is, as we close this out, I am excited. December can't come fast enough.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, what do you guys think? Do you think Rise of Skywalker is going to be a massive success? It's going to end the saga on a high note, or do you think it's going to be like Last Jedi, where it's going to be extremely divisive and just make us all need a whiskey? Let us know in the comments what you think. Go into the comments on any Last Jedi video, read them, and tell me you don't need a shot of something after that depression. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments. This has been Asher.
And Aaron.
From Concordia Jedi. May the Force be with you.
Always.
See how long this video was.